Dean Button,
Here.
Nathaniel Harris, Ann Herbert,
Here.
William Hutton,
Here.
Robert Markovich, Juan Moreno,
Here.
Sharon Zaney,
Here.
Thomas White. 6 present. We have a quorum.
Thank you. May I have a,
Motion to approve the minutes.
thank you very much.
Second that motion.
Please.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Mr. Bowen, is there any old business?
No, there's no old business.
Thank you very much. Is there any new business?
Yes, there is.
Okay, thank you. We would like to bring to the table CP-17-08, petition of the Hammond Plan Commission to amend the text of the zoning ordinance number 8514 to provide for and add a new permitted use and provisions for a data center.
Mr. President, just for purposes of the record, it's CP 18-08.
Really?
Yeah, we flipped the calendar in January.
I'm sorry. I apologize, I misread it. Thank you. CP-18,
18.
Dash 08.
Which is consistent with the paperwork provided.
Thank you very much. Carrying on, this ordinance amendment will affect Title I definitions by adding a definition for data centers. Title 11, Light Industrial District, by adding a new permitted use for data centers, a new accessory use, and Title 20, Parking, by adding provisions for parking for data centers. The ordinance amendment does not modify any existing penalty or forfeiture provisions. Mr. Poland, have you signed in?
No, I have not signed in. Thank you for
Please carry on.
pointing that out.
Is there a public notice?
I also do,
Oh, I apologize. Thank you very much.
what was that?
All public notices?
Yes.
See? Thank you very, that was him.
All right. First of all, let me ask for confirmation that the Plan Commission has no objection to me acting as the petitioner and the reviewer.
We have no objection.
Thank you. All right. Secondly, in addition to the correction we already made on the agenda, one of the things on the listing the title references where it says a new accessory use, that would have been amending Title 18, Section 18.70, related to that accessory use section.
Thank you.
So tonight, we have a text amendment to the zoning ordinance that's affecting the various sections that we referenced. You all should have been given a copy of the recent article that was on the data center. I hope that everybody is familiar with the data center. It's been talked about a little bit for some time. As our zoning ordinance is written, there is no reference to a data center. It is, a newer use that has kind of, as technology evolves, our zoning ordinance cannot anticipate everything that's going to happen in our world. So I thought it was best that we amend the zoning ordinance to put the category of the data center in a zoning district. It was chosen to go into the I-1 district, which also, by the nature of the ordinance, is also permitted in the I-2 district. Of course, then, once you have a label, you have to have a definition. So the ordinance then identifies or creates a definition that's in the Title I, which is the definition section. And then, as mentioned before, there's an amendment to the accessory uses, and then an amendment to the parking section. And all that is related to introducing this concept of a data center into the ordinance. Some of the materials that's been provided to us is from a representative of this company that has expressed interest in moving to Hammond. And I'm sure you can read this. I don't want to bore you with me reading it, but basically a data center is a place where a whole bunch of computers are housed where they can store data off-site from other businesses and entities for, transmission, storage, safety, secure locations, and all that kind of stuff, kind of where our world is going. The parking concept was just based on whether or not, making sure we have adequate parking for the number of employees, and then anticipate a certain number for any visitors to the site. One of the things that is related to the proposed user is that they want to look at a lot of green technology, a lot of, wind, solar, taking advantage of the location and the equipment that would be associated with generating that electricity. That way they can, in a case of power failure, they're going to have their own power. And that way that data is protected. Are there any questions specific to the ordinance itself, the text amendment? Okay, all right. Okay, all right. If there's any questions about the data center itself, we do have a representative, Matt Reardon, who is representing the company that's interested, if anybody has any questions on that.
I would just comment that the letter prepared by Mr. Reardon from MCR Partners was very well thought out in terms of the information that kind of establishes what the data center is. So I appreciate what work he's provided.
Any other questions? Thank you. Any other questions from the commissioners? Comments? We'd like to now open this to the public hearing. Is there anybody in the public that would like to step forward? Anybody? Last call. Public hearing is now closed. Mr. Petitioner, you now have the opportunity to answer any further questions.
Well, hearing that there are no questions, I am done with my answers.
Thank you very much.
Are you going to give your staff report from there, or are you going to come back over here?
It was good.
Thank you, Mr. Westland.
Not a problem.
Your staff report, please.
I think the petitioner did an excellent job of explaining what this proposal is. So I will forego any explanation of the background and go to the staff recommendation, and that the staff has reviewed the proposed development of the data center and the research other zoning sources. Basically, yes, I went online and looked for other examples. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve the text amendment for the data centers and send the ordinance to the City Council with a favorable recommendation. And if the Planning Commission agrees with the recommendation, the staff requests that this report be adopted by the Planning Commission as findings of fact.
Mr. President, I'd like to move to approve the text amendment for the data center and send the ordinance to the City Council with a favorable recommendation. I so move.
Thank you, Mr. Button. Second, sorry. Thank you. Roll call vote, please.
Roger Brock,
Yes.
Dean Button.
Yes.
Nathaniel Harris,
Yes.
Ann Herbert,
Yes.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Juan Moreno,
Yes.
Sharon Zaney,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Mr. President, I'd also like to make a motion to adopt the staff report as a finding of fact.
Second that motion.
Thank you, gentlemen. Roll call vote.
Roger Brock,
Yes.
Dean Button.
Yes.
Nathaniel Harris.
Yes.
Ann Herbert.
Yes.
William Hutton,
Yes.
Juan Moreno,
Yes.
Sharon Zaney,
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Thank you very much. Mr. Poland, any correspondence?
Yes, we do have correspondence. It is in your packet that we received correspondence from the City of Hammond's Economic Development Commission. They have provided us information on 2 project reports that they reviewed at their April 2nd meeting, and those are attached in the packet. One was regards to the proposed financing for the Cube Sports Complex and the Project Ice Cube Arena. And the second one was for some financing for the ATG real estate development. Ice Cube is at Dowling Park at the old FOP site, and the ATG project is the office building that the Plan Commission reviewed at a previous meeting with the subdivision and the overlay zoning district. That's the ATG project. They prepared a letter that they need the Plan Commission to sign, so it is just like a motion that the Plan Commission agrees to sign the letter and send it back to the Economic Development Commission.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Roger Brock?
Yes.
Dean Button?
Yes.
Nathaniel Harris?
Yes.
Ann Herbert?
Yes.
William Hutton?
Yes.
Juan Moreno?
Yes.
Sharon Zany?
Yes.
7 ayes, 0 nays, 0 abstentions, motion passed.
Thank you. Commissioners, you have any comments?
Is this ours?
Sir.
I don't think this is ours.
Any staff comments?
Just that at this time, I am not anticipating a May Plan Commission meeting, but I think I said that last time, and that changed at the last minute, so don't make too many plans, but at the moment, we will not have a May Plan Commission meeting.
May I ask a question?
Well, that would have been under Commissioner's comments, wouldn't it?
I know that. I apologize. Are we continuing on Tuesday nights or Monday nights?
I think it's a fair question that we need to talk about that. I know that Mr. White had made personal arrangements where he could not make tonight's meeting on Tuesday. His schedule that he had prepared was, he was expecting the Monday meeting, and that he, had his commitment set for Tuesday. But yes, that is a discussion that we need to confirm what we're going to do.
Okay. Thank you.
Is there a time when we're going to have this discussion? Do we set this for a future meeting, or do we do that now?
I have no problems with doing it now, if that's, I just want to make sure that, one of the difficulties of having it now is our president is not here to join in.
Of course.
He's the one who has the conflict for at least this particular month. So that's my only reservation.
Can we do it the May meeting,
Well, if we don't have a May meeting, do you want to have a meeting just to discuss when we're going to have the meeting?
At our next scheduled meeting.
Well, I think the point is, we could have discussion, and we don't have to come to any conclusion right now. I mean, what's the purpose of moving the meeting from a Monday? It's inconvenient for certain parties to be here, is that what we're understanding?
Yes, that is, that,
Monday nights are not convenient for certain
right,
participants.
that is part of the issue, yes.
And is there any,
Monday night is best for me. I leave here and go to another meeting
on Tuesday or on Monday?
on Tuesday.
And is that inconvenient for you?
I just arrived late.
So I'm sorry, Ms. Herbert, I didn't hear what you're saying.
No, I was just saying that Tuesday was not the best day for me because I have another meeting on Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
And when I come here, I'm always late.
Okay, all right. So, so we have some, okay. So there's just kind of some conflicts either way.
Is the time of the meeting a concern?
I'm a little concerned about, I've always been an advocate of the 7 o'clock meeting, and, we had this discussion a couple years ago about moving to 6 o'clock. My objections, and I know you're going to scoff at it, but my objection is, I don't want it to be too early that prevents an opportunity for the public to show up, because part of what we're doing here is making sure that there is a public hearing. And I realize that our public attendance is not the greatest, and that's putting it politely. And I'm just concerned that if we start moving it too much, that we're going to really prevent people the opportunity to come and express their opinions, which when we're trying to get that public hearing and that comment incorporated into our recommendations.
I think the time is fine.
Mr. President, I appreciate the open dialogue opportunity here. I was not here very long during the 7 p.m. Meeting time. Did we seem to have more public participation, or is this just historical that the public participation is lower for Plan Commission meetings in Hammond?
My observation from my soon-to-be 29 years is that the most recent years has been a drop-off of public attendance. I cannot say that we had large crowds, but we would get, 3 or 4 people, when it was something that affecting primarily a residential area. That's when we would get the public. So yeah, it has dropped off, but I don't know what the true explanation of that is.
It might just be the topic of discussion that causes it to drop off. And personally, I like the 6 o'clock meeting. Is it possible, if you agree, maybe you could craft an email and put it out there and we could all respond electronically to you, which night, which time?
I've been a recipient of a doodle poll, but I've never created a doodle question, but it is a way of, through the email process, getting when people are available for certain meetings. You kind of like set it up with options. So that is something that we could do. And as long as we have your emails that we can send that to and that you guys respond to it, that would be, participation is the important part of that. But it's going to take me a while to figure out actually how to do one, because I haven't, like I said, haven't done one.
Just refer to the IT department. I'm sure they'd help.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I just,
Shouldn't take much.
yeah.
Any other comments regarding this? Thank you very much for your offers. No public comment for a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman,
Wait a minute.
public comment.
You were with the group that spoke earlier.
No,
Oh, you're
just the
not.
public,
Oh,
just the business owner.
Please,
Yeah.
speak.
Matt
on it,
Reardon,
Mr.
MCR Partners, 5920 Holman Avenue. I just want to thank the commission for moving forward with this amendment. It's critical to all of the components coming together with the data center, and things like this are the way that this commission turned it around quickly was greatly received by the investors, and all of this information ends up going back to the people looking to make the $200 million investment. So I want to thank you.
Can you sign in for me, Matt?
That's less than 3 minutes, and we appreciate your promptness. May I have a motion for
So
adjournment?
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Oh, wow, I'm going to be on time with this meeting.
I'm in.
I can't believe it.